AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio with me, Astrologer Shelley Overton. Each week we go over the planetary positions, discuss astrology, and take callers' questions. If you would like to call in and get a reading, you can call 347-994-3365. Call in early as the lines fill up. Hello, and welcome to the March 5th, 2019 edition of the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. My name is Shelley Overton, and I am an astrologer here in Orlando, Florida. We're going to see if this show works this time. It's kind of a lengthy story, but, you know, when I listen to people, I like to connect a little bit more personal to them, hear about some things behind the scenes. So I'm going to share with you a number of things that have been going on. So initially, I was going to have an 11 a.m. show, but because we have a lot of energy going on in the sky right now, including a Mercury retrograde, I have a daughter who has been reacting to this energy with anxiety and panic attacks. So because of that, I had to shift the show until 1 p.m. So when I went to 1 p.m. as an astrologer who has been otherwise occupied or preoccupied, I didn't realize Mercury was going retrograde at 1:19 p.m. Eastern time today. So guess what happened? I couldn't get on my show. As soon as I went through the whole intro part and, you know, everything went, I got this weird buzz tone like the phone line went dead. So now I rescheduled for 2 p.m. and it looks like it's going really well. I'm very excited. I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to let Mercury get into his new motion and we're going to reestablish the show at 2 p.m. So that's what we're doing. Now, the interesting thing about Mercury is that he is at 29 degrees and 38 minutes of Pisces, which is the energy of the very last full degree within about 22 minutes of changing signs to Aries when he went retrograde. So now he's going in a new direction, and he's also at the bitter end of that sign. So what we're having now is this tremendous energy around people coming back in from the past, stories from the past that are reinitiating in our lives, bringing up old emotions and old sentimentalities, and we're having to go back over those stories again. Now, not only is Mercury retrograde, but Neptune is also in Pisces. Sun is conjunct Neptune in Pisces, and Moon Day is at 5 degrees Pisces. Not only that, Moon is going to be full, and that's happening tomorrow. Let me just look here real quick. Excuse me, full, not full, new, which is at 11:04 a.m. So that's Eastern time. 11:04 a.m. the Moon goes into new mode, so it's the least visible. It's conjunct the Sun. And so that means that the Moon, the Sun, and Neptune are all conjunct. So the Moon is at 15 degrees tomorrow, and Neptune is 16. So it's going to be an incredibly emotional, sentimental day. I mentioned something last week about aspects that were in alignment for a potential death coming in, and I said because I believe it was Venus at the time. Maybe I was wrong. Honestly, trying to recall what I said last time. But currently, Mercury and Jupiter are just at the last degree of a square. And now Mercury retrograde is coming back into alignment with a square between Mercury and Jupiter. And that can mean people transitioning, Part of it is the last degree of Pisces is the domain of endings of the collective idea of the zodiac. The zodiac starts at 0 Aries, ends at 29:59 degrees, 59 minutes, 29 degrees and 59 minutes of Pisces. So when you have a planet at that bitter end, it means that there's a transition. It means that something's changing and shifting. An old way of seeing the world is ending. Now, when Mercury goes retrograde, he retrogrades back to the degree of Neptune right now, with 16 degrees, and then he goes direct again and hits that same degree in a few weeks, come into the month of April. So I'm just looking here to do my research while I'm talking, to give you a heads up for that. So April 17th, Mercury will be at 29 degrees of Pisces. And that day we're going to have a 24-degree Jupiter retrograde. So it's very likely we will see more transitions around that date as well. So currently I had a client text me today saying that there were 4 transitions, 4 deaths that happened this week. One of them was, of course, Luke Perry. He was on 90210, and I guess he's on Riverdale. I watched a few episodes of Riverdale. He plays Archie's dad on Riverdale, or played. So he made his transition after a stroke he had last Wednesday, which is really sad that anybody has to go through that kind of traumatic, any family or individual has to do that. So again, what's going on is it's very much electrical energy and neurological energy. So currently we also have Uranus 29:58. Literally Uranus is hours away from going into Taurus. He goes in tomorrow morning, and his transition into Taurus is at 3:26 a.m. Eastern and 12:26 a.m. Pacific. So Uranus goes into Taurus. Uranus is a higher vibration, a larger vibration, more voluminous, or as they say on Spinal Tap, 11, a scale of 1 to 10, of Mercury energy. So Mercury is thought and communication, short distance transportation, elementary education, small animals. I guess I would infer that Uranus is large animals. I've never really looked into it, but it is broad energy around technology, so be the internet as opposed to your phone or your computer. It is weather patterns, tornadoes, wind, lots of wind, and it's meteorology. It rules astrology. It rules air. It's an air energy. But what I'm noticing now in the last couple of weeks is a lot more people with physical ailments that revolve around the lungs, breathing, and neurological or psychological energy, which could potentially also be triggered physiologically, so in the body. So anxiety and panic attacks like my daughter is having. Her teacher told me today that she had been through those and used potassium. The doctor said she was extremely low on potassium. And honestly, I'm just giving you a little information in addition that I gave her some potassium after picking her up today, and it really did help a lot. So if you're having any anxiety, it is absolutely the energy going on between Mercury retrograding and Uranus about to change signs, all within 24 hours. So, and then the moon is in Pisces now, approaching the sun. So there are a lot of shifts and electrical energy. Venus is at 4 degrees Aquarius, which is square to Mars, and will be square to Uranus tomorrow when he goes into Taurus. So, well, she's square to Uranus today, but they have one sign, so they're not square by sign, they are square by degree. And tomorrow, when he goes into Taurus, they will be square by sign as well. So there is a lot of electrical energy and a lot of emotional energy out there. So if you've been having issues with dealing and coping with the heightened energy around spirituality and more psychic energy coming in, you are not alone. I can guarantee it. My daughter also, she has Mercury in Pisces, so her Mercury is being affected right now. And I'm getting this return of old people that I've known, etc., coming in. So there is that energy coming in. I guess what I'm trying to get at is there is a lot going on, and it's pretty intense. So if you've been dealing with it, you're not alone. And uh, definitely do what you have to get the help you need. If it's something about, I spoke to someone that's very close to me today, and she was really distraught. And that's possibility. That's going to happen. We are dealing with the 4-planet awakening of this part of the sky of Pisces. And having a planet, especially one that I think it's so interesting that people know about the sun, they know their sun signs. People know a lot of times what energy the moon is giving off, whether it's new, quarter moon, full, or if it's a solstice or something where we're feeling a heightened energy. I just talked to my neighbor yesterday, and he was like, well, I don't know if you believe in this, but, the moon was just full because we were talking about some cats missing from the neighborhood. That's ruled by Virgo energy and Mercury energy. And he was telling me about that. And he's like, well, I don't know if you believe in this, which is really ironic, of course, because I'm an astrologer. But, the moon was just full. I'm like, yes, absolutely. I believe in that. And so pets could be an issue now as well. I've got cats that I have basically rescued in this neighborhood. And one right before the podcast was going berserk, running all over the room that I have her in. And I keep her inside in a room because I'm allergic, but also because she's kind of scared about the outdoors and all of the big bad things that are out here in the country. So she gets to go out during the day at times. Today's a particularly rainy day, so she's not getting to go outside. But that Mercury retrograde at exactly 1:19, I was starting the show and I was hearing all sorts of things banging around in that room. So I went and checked on her and gave her a little playtime. But, if your cats are feeling like that, or your animals, they're going to feel things too. They are very much influenced by the planets. So don't forget that they may need a little extra care or a little extra time from you checking on them, because it's just heightened energy right now. So let's break down the planets a little bit one by one, and then we can get onto our callers. And if you want to call in, the number is 34994-3365, and just hit 1 if you want me to answer a question for you. I will do that. But currently I've got 153. Let's just update our chart here so we get the most accurate information. So I'm in Orlando, Florida, and we have a Cancer rising of 21 degrees right now. And we have Mars at 13 degrees. He is in sextile to the sun. So quite honestly, that's good news. There are a lot of sextiles bopping all over the chart today. We've got 1 trine, 2 squares, and multiple, it looks like about 5 sextiles. And sextile is 60 degrees away. Square is 90 degrees away. It cuts the sky into quarters, so that's a stress aspect. And then we have 1 trine between Mars and Saturn. Now, trines, as I have spoken about many times, they are considered a positive aspect in the zodiac, but I've also found them to be stressful. They can bring out transition, they can bring out transformation, they can bring out events that we don't want to have happen in a certain way, but yet they will influence us in a good way down the road, so it becomes a positive energy. So Mars is the drive, the action, aggression, male energy of the zodiac. He just went in, I think about 10 days ago, into Taurus. And when he went into Taurus, he shifted the energy from aggression, which is Mars, anger, male intensity, sex drive is also under Mars, into a more feminine energy. So it stimulates women, pardon unless I'm going to just stop right there. Anyway, Mars and Taurus, it stimulates things like diet. And I have to tell you, diet, I have noticed a number of different situations where it's being affected now. Uranus going into Taurus will absolutely affect our diet, affect how our bodies interact with the chemicals of food. My daughter eats pretzels all the time. I was eating pretzels, and then I realized I was getting more stomach acid and had to feeding them, and my daughter eats them like candy every single day, and she's now feeling that as well. So this energy is really awakening whatever we might have connected to food and diet. Again, earth signs are about the earth, the material world. And so when we look at planets going into an earth energy, we are going to be triggering our physical bodies, the physical environment, and the interaction of energy with the body. So Uranus is, again, this very, I am sorry, I keep saying again, but I should stop doing that, shouldn't I? Sorry. Anyway, Uranus is the large, broad scale mental energy. It's neurological, it's electrical, and it comes down into the earth plane and lights us up, but it can overload us. And so when it does that, we need to ground. And that's one of the techniques I've been giving my daughter during this whole anxiety episode that she's been dealing with for about the last 4 days. So, don't forget to ground your energy. If you're having a lot of difficulty, one of the techniques I used and shared with her today was picture your feet growing roots that like a tree that go down into the ground and send the extra energy down. I mean, it's like electricity in a house. It needs to be grounded or you can get shocked. That's what's going on right now in a literal sense. You can get shocked. So on another level, be careful about electricity right now, and especially electricity as it relates to water, because we have 4 planets in water. And Venus is conducting electricity as well right now. So, it's a really strong time of electricity and water, and be careful of your phones. Dry your hands before plugging things in, things like that. Watch before you dig, because cables, definitely Uranus going into Earth sign, that can also mean digging into the earth and hitting electrical cables. So these are the energies that really, and Mars is a trigger for a lot of this. Mars is in trine to Saturn. Now, Saturn is in the Earth sign of Capricorn. So Saturn is about creating the structure. They are both in the middle, which is middle 10 degrees, and each sign has 30 degrees, and it's divided into 10 degrees each, 10, 10, and 10. And each one of those 10 degrees is called a decan. And each one is a different sign ruler in order around the zodiac in that element. So in other words, the first 10 degrees of an earth sign would be whatever that sign is. So Mars in Taurus, the first 10 degrees are Taurus. The next 10 degrees are the next sign, which is Virgo, and the last 10 degrees would be Capricorn. That's the last sign before going back to Taurus. And Saturn is 18 Capricorn, so the first 10 degrees of Saturn in Capricorn is Capricorn. The next 10 degrees is Taurus, and the last 10 degrees is Virgo. So you read those different degrees in another layer. And if you have ever heard me talk about astrology in a class or teaching situation, or have bought my book, I have an ebook online. I'm going to use this moment for a shameless plug. You can go to angeliczodiac.com. There is a book called Learn Astrology. It's an ebook for the time being, and you can get a discount there on my webpage. But it will tell you about this. It will tell you about the different layers of learning and understanding how to read a chart. And it really is, if you think about it, as dimensional layers that build up and each before. So when you read a chart, like today with Mars at 13 degrees Taurus and Saturn at 18 Capricorn, they are in trine to each other. You are talking about the middle degrees. So Mars is in the Virgo degrees, which is health, and Saturn is in the middle degrees, which answers to Taurus. So right now Saturn really is reinforcing Mars in the Taurus energy, which is fun and love. growing things, and especially the structure of things. So that's the body. Change, because Uranus is about to go into the beginning degree of Taurus. It's really going to be reinforcing more about chemicals, the body, the structure of the body, the physicality of interaction with chemicals in the body. And then again, because it's in trine to Saturn, it's about making new life change. So this is a time where we can really make that change and make it stick, because Mars is cooperating with Saturn energy. It's saying, yes, we are going to be building this new thing, and it's a new way of life. So if you're coming into that energy right now, this week, this past weekend, it's a great time to make it stick. Having Mercury retrograde, it can mean that you may have to reinitiate it emotionally. Like, of course, we've got the physicality of it really strong and centered, but the emotional side of it, you're not completely on board with yet, because we're feeling particularly sentimental, but Mercury in that sentimental sign going backwards is our thought processes. And that means that we're evaluating. We're evaluating where we've been. We're wondering if this is something that we can continue on with. And it is also a time where, like I said before, people may not want to stick around or have physical ailments that may rear up, and it becomes the process for which they transition. But it is also a time of major shift to a new energy, and we are going to embrace that energy and work with it, along with processing the old emotional energy. So Jupiter in Sagittarius, he's at 22 degrees, and he is squaring right between Neptune and Mercury. So we have a Jupiter-Neptune square. So again, the physicality of Jupiter rules the sign of Sagittarius. He's very strong in taking action, doing exercise. So if you're having issues around anxiety or emotional upset, or again, electrical, which is overactive mind. So the neurology of the brain definitely responds to Mercury and Uranus energy. That can increase right now. And you can feel kind of particularly wonky, because Uranus is changing that time, but all of the water energy is affecting the water in our bodies. And so we're feeling like lit up, because water is a conductor, like I said a little bit ago. It's going to transmit that electrical energy through emotions. And then when the sun and the moon move out and Mercury moves out, of course it eases off. So it'll be in Aries and fire. Hang on one second. I apologize. I was just getting a little dry there, and I was about to cough, so I didn't want to do that to you live. Anyway, yeah, so we have a lot of this conductive energy, and it's being conducted through emotion. So there is the combination of mental stimulation and emotion. And honestly, meditation does wonders. My daughter was able to calm down some of her nerves through online meditation apps and YouTube. So that's also another avenue that you can take if you're feeling particularly triggered or heightened right now. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to really talk about, because we've got callers and I want to take a break, is Venus. Venus and Aquarius. So Venus and Aquarius answers to Uranus. Of course, like I said, Uranus is about to change signs. So today, Venus is very aggressive. She may be wrapping up some old energies around love, or being a little bit more standoffish or detached from couple situations and from a partner. She doesn't want to be told what to do. She wants to be on her own. As Uranus goes into Taurus, Venus now answers to that energy in her own domain. So it also means that Uranus and Venus will be in mutual reception. It means each planet is in the other planet's sign. And so they transfer information much more readily and are actually quite similar
in how they express the energy. Planetary bodies in each other's sign, you are doubling, exponentially increasing this energy. So having Uranus and Taurus is going to be about independence for women. Oh, I'm so sorry. Independence for women, entrepreneurship, increased retail sales, changes in retail, Payless Shoes now going out of business, retail outlet ending its very long time in the business. I mean, I grew up with Payless around, so it's a very long time that it's been around, but now it's ending its stores, so they're all closing. So there's so much energy going on right now about transition, and information is coming through. There's new understanding of things. Uranus brings in clarity, it brings in awareness, it enlightens, it enlivens. It's very active, frenetic energy, so it is going to be a lot to take initially, but we will settle down as soon as we get a handle on the feeling of it. Last year, Uranus went into Taurus in May, so we did get a little bit of that understanding and awareness of how it will come in. And it does have a lot of positivity to it. It's going to be a really new horizon for music, for how we look at view our aesthetics. So it's going to bring in a lot of unusual and unexpected things coming into the marketplace. And I think our diets are going to radically change under this energy as Uranus comes in for the next 8 years. So I think we're going to be more aware of what we eat and what we grow in our lands in this country and in every country. So agriculture will go through a transformation as well. Anyway, as I said, I could go on and on. I'm going to take a break here. I'm going to take some water so I don't choke, and I'm going to take calls. So let's go to a quick break, and I'll see you in just a little. Hi, this is Shelley. I have talked before about my art on my podcast. I wanted to share more with you about it. I've been an artist since I was in elementary school. I love drawing and painting. After high school, I went to commercial art school. While there, I honed my drawing skills and ventured into acrylic painting on my own. Since graduating, I have explored graphic, realistic, mixed media, and whimsical art. I set up a site online to share some of my art with you. On the site, you can also see the designs on specific products like mugs, shower curtains, t-shirts, and also in prints. I am excited to share this side of my life with you, and if you are only here for astrology, I have zodiac sign designs and merchandise. I hope you will take a look at ShelleyOverton.com. That is ShellEY Overton, OverTon.com. You can also see my astrology designs exclusively on astroart.net. Put a little more color in your life.
And welcome back. My name is Shelley Overton, and you are listening to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio. I am very excited to be here because I had a couple different starts, and we are here now to take live callers. So if you would like to call in, the number is 347-994-3365. So we'll take our first caller, 703. Hi, 703. Who is this?
Hello, my name's Andrea. How are you? Hello?
Hi, Andrea. I've got you here. You're January 1763, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So you've called this show before, so that's wonderful. Thank you for calling back.
I think a long time ago, right?
Oh, well, I've had this show since 2010, and I actually try to keep all of the area codes for my callers so that I can try and find them quickly. And sometimes I have multiple area codes, so I just add the next 3 digits, and you were there, so I got you.
There you go.
Yeah. What can I do today?
Well, I have a question. I tried out for I don't know if I remember. I tried out for a TV show not that long ago, but they say that all the callbacks are done. But matter of fact, I got a sign this morning. I still think the door is open, so I'm not sure if you still pick up the door is open.
Yeah, having Mercury retrograde definitely would make door open. Yeah, so for you, I mean, I now that I have a different type of chart up, Vesta is also in Pisces right now, and so yeah, there are 5 energies. So normally I read mostly just the planets, but occasionally I read asteroids too. And I can tell you that you have Mercury in the house of money and money from career and networking with your soul group, which also is associated with career. It's the path. And you have Jupiter, the planet of fortune, 12 degrees in that house in Pisces. So, yeah, I mean, having Mercury go retrograde definitely is to your benefit. And again, it'll be about 3 weeks before it gets back to 16 degrees. So let me see. Actually, I'm going to look that up for sure because I want to just go spraying that out over the universe and not be accurate. Yeah, it goes on the 29th, and today's the 6th, so 23 days before it's direct. And let me see, where is it at? 16 degrees. Yeah, it'll get right to where Vesta is and Neptune. They're conjunct today, Vesta and Neptune. And Vesta is like a shrewish woman, kind of. So in Pisces, Vesta can be a bit of a difficult woman, archetypally, but she's actually also in a sign that's universally loving. So there may be someone who appears to be a detriment to you, or maybe it was a person that you did the audition for who isn't totally sure. But having Mercury go back, it's like they're going to consider you again. So that will be beneficial. Yeah, I don't totally, and I don't know when you had the audition, particularly. How long ago?
It was December. It was December. It was November and December.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they're not already in production?
They are. That's the thing. They are.
Okay. Okay. So if you're asking about some indication, definitely Mercury retrograde in Pisces, and even any planet going into Pisces. Pisces is like, it likes to go back and review the past, and Mercury retrograde does that too. So there's a thread from the past with Pisces. So you're always going to have energy come into your life that you already dealt with when you have Pisces planets, so Moon, Sun, Neptune, especially Neptune. Having Neptune there for, I think he's there for 24 years or something, is a long time. It goes 2 degrees a year, okay? I take it back, probably not that long. It's more like 15 years. So there's a lot of chance to go back over things from the past, and I definitely think you will have an opportunity to hear again from them, just because Mercury gives back connection, and it's in your house associated with the group that you're in as a soul group. So, life purpose and your peers. So, yeah. That's
really interesting because I was just doing an errand, and whatever divine synchronicity, I just left whatever, I could have left 5 minutes later, but as I'm leaving, on the corner of my eye was a car with license plates from California, and that's where the next round is being taped, so that's where I have to go. I'm thinking, if that's not a sign from the universe.
Yeah, no, I absolutely get you. When it comes to license plates, I get them all the time. Like, ever since my aunt moved to Texas, I see Texas plates everywhere.
Crazy.
So,
crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely a message. And, I guess what I want to say, because of the way the planets are right now, you are going back over an old story. And I think probably more so the way I would read the energy for you is that there's a story from the past that resonates to something that you need to know to move forward. And part of that is also because when you did that, Chiron was in Pisces. Chiron is the wound healer, and he just moved into Aries, which is new beginnings.
And so all these planets in Pisces are going back to the past. And it's like what Pisces does is it wants us to relive the past. It wants us to live emotionally, mentally in the past, because it's about vintage energy and the thread of the past to the present and all this stuff. And it really gets very sentimental. So while it could be a message to you about that job, I think the bigger message that I'm getting for you is that you have to look at what you want to do and have more faith in yourself moving forward, because it is very much about identity and individuality coming in, okay? And you not only do you have all the Pisces in your 11th house, you have Uranus and Mars in the 12th house, which answers to Pisces. So you really do have a lot of energy now going on around this idea of, actually, it's idealization. Okay, that's what Pisces can do, is say, if only that would happen, that would be wonderful. So yes, you may hear from them again. Something may come from it. But I think that there is a bigger lesson in this, to understand that you have to have faith in who you are and put all of your energy and belief in someone else or some other entity, some other path that could happen that would make your life perfect. It's, in a way, it's kind of similar to wanting to win the lottery and keep going, well, if I could win the lottery, all my problems would be solved. Meanwhile, ignoring the practical, tangible to do, to get those solved without it. So it's kind of like that. Yeah, I mean, you have Jupiter and Pisces in the 11th house. That is fortune. You can bring in circumstances, especially long-distance circumstances. Are you on the East Coast?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Jupiter in the 11th for sure can bring money from travel to faraway places, because that's what Jupiter rules. And in the 11th house, it's about networking and who you know. So people that you know that are connected out there can come into your life again. So definitely there's a possibility. Jupiter is pretty fortunate, but he's only 5 degrees away from natal Chiron. And moon is coming up. The new moon is on your natal Chiron. So just know that, or actually the new moon, the moon in Pisces now, I should say, because it's new at 15. So the new moon at 15 will be right on your Jupiter, and that means new beginnings around how you look at things that have happened in the past. And it is also bringing in some more fortune for you, and it can bring in fortune long distance, okay? So I'm not negating it, but I want you to be aware of a broader picture that's developing, and you may have more information coming in around that, okay?
Okay. Well, thanks.
Yeah. And Mercury is retrograde, like I said, until the end of the month, and then about mid-April is when he clears his shadow. So, yeah, that'll be a little bit better for you after he clears his shadow. And I'll just, Stephen, as long as I've got you for the moment, I'm going to give you a little bit more information after Mercury goes into Taurus at 23, so the 19th of May, Mercury will be in your first house in Taurus, and that will also help bring money. And you'll be thinking about personal value and worth and how you can make money, and probably bring in some more money for you. And definitely by the end of May, when Mercury is in your house of money, that'll be a really great time to earn more money from multiple sources. It's not just one, and that could even mean multiple active jobs. Okay?
Well, that's great, because I was supposed to start a new job on Monday, and that's on hold because the government needs to redo a new form. So I'm like, oh.
Mercury redoing a form.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's literally Mercury.
I have to, yes, I have to do. Yeah, redo. I mean, everything else is fine, but I was like, so I'm waiting to go back to work. But yeah, I got to wait for that form to come back. So
Venus transit is right on your 3-degree Mercury in Aquarius. Venus at 4 and your Mercury at 3. So, and then Venus is on your Saturn and career. So absolutely, there's like something going on that way that will be fine. You're definitely covered in your chart. I think there's a lot of positivity coming. So don't worry about it. Jupiter's in your house of joint finance, too long distance. So there's definitely an energy of getting money from distance, especially with career. Okay?
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, well, give me a call another time if you need anything else.
All right.
Okay?
Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
You're welcome. Bye,
Appreciate it.
Andrea.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right. Let's take another caller. 614. Hi, 614. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Hi. Is this, well, tell me who you are, and we'll see if I have your chart.
This is my first time calling. It's
Oh,
Mandy.
okay. Mandy, wonderful. Let me just, is it Mandy or I?
I.
Okay, and hang on, I'm just setting up a chart for you real quick. So I'm going to put some information. In case you call again, I can find you. All right, what's your birthday?
3/30/1985.
Okay. And what time and place?
1:20 in the morning in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay. I'm just getting all the information here. 1:20 in the morning, you said, right?
Yep.
So what can I do for you today?
I'm looking into different career options, so I wanted to see if you saw any changes or had any suggestions.
Okay, let's look at what you've got here. So you have a 27 Sagittarius rising, and your Saturn is over in Scorpio at 27 Scorpio, and it's in the house of peer groups, friendship from work, and money from work, and it's the Aquarius house. So you are a very curious person and a very passionate person, and I would say a humanitarian. And you've got Libra on the cusp of the career, so there's definitely a connection to humanitarianism. You've got Uranus, which rules the 11th house. Uranus is in Sagittarius in your 12th house, being triggered today by Jupiter. Means that Uranus is the ruler of your Saturn house, so it's about connect to other people, and you connect other people through spiritual endeavors, spirituality, long distance travel, or even online on a computer, because Uranus is technology, and Sagittarius is about long distance over the internet. And it, again, because it's the 12th house, there's like a nonverbal energy to this. There's something about getting information. It's like information channels into you, and you need to express it, but you do it kind of non-verbally sometimes. And there's also the energy of expressing it through workouts or like yoga or some type of spiritual exercise practice. Saturn in your 11th house means that you can use technology in what you do, or you may be just interested in the masses, because again, Uranus rules that house. It's about the masses, and it's about humanitarianism fruition. So let me explain this a little bit. Libra is social worker of the zodiac. That rules your house of career because it's at the midheaven, the cusp of your house of career. In that house, it transitions into Scorpio, which does the material work that the ideas of Libra bring in. So the ideas come from Libra going, hey, we could connect this way and we could help people this way. And then Scorpio says, okay, that's all lovely and everything, but how are you going to get practical about it and make it happen and get passionate? Pluto's in that house for you. So Pluto's part of your career. It's research. It can be law, psychology. Those are the main things that Scorpio likes to express through some kind of therapy, law, or just helping people in some capacity, or research. And then Saturn's also there. So you've got two hefty planets in Scorpio wanting you to dig deeper in whatever it is you do in life. And specifically in an Aquarius house, it's about who you know. It's about networking. And let me just look at a few other planets here. So you have Mars and Taurus in the home and family sector. Mars is your drive and your ambition, and it's at the end degrees of your home and family house. And so in Taurus, it's about money and your personal worth in the family sector. So what I see here in a commonality in your chart is Saturn is in the group energy of peers and soul group, and Mars is in your house of home and family, people that you connect to growing up and who have a more of a means to give you a boost up. So
probably some kind of family connection with a career if you have an opportunity to do something. It could either mean that it's a family business, or it can mean that you gained some money from family that could help you out on your own path. Having Uranus in the 12th house, especially in Sagittarius, brings a huge amount of freedom loving to you. You really need to have a situation where you're not told what to do and you have freedom to move about. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. You do have Neptune and Capricorn in the first house, so there is a really strong connection to the structure of God, to like career-based, somewhat in reliable, responsible systems. So that can be in a corporate structure. You may, and I'm guessing because you have Mars trine your Neptune. Again, it's family. Mars is in your mom's house. Neptune is in your dad's sign, because Capricorn is the dad sign of the zodiac. You know, in traditional astrology, dad goes out. I mean, I know this is so sexist, but it's really the way it's read. Mom rules the home realm, home and family, and dad rules the career. And so Capricorn is dad, and I think that'll change over time, but currently it's very paternalistic structure. So Capricorn, Neptune in Capricorn means there's an idealization around dad, and you identify strongly with something that your dad brought into your life. And there may be also a connection in your career to something dad does. And as you identify so strongly with it, I'm not kidding, it's like you merge with energy, whatever it is, in dad. It's the idealization of how he is in career. And then in the mom house means, again, there can be some connection to the money from family, maybe from the side, okay? Or even a brother, Mars's brothers. So there may be something you could do with a connection to a brother or somebody your brother knows, if you have one. Yeah, do you have a brother? It looks like you may.
I do, yep.
Okay, yeah, you've got Venus, Mercury, and Sun in Aries in the house of siblings. Really strong energy around boy energy for siblings. So that's why I say that. You also have Cancer in your house of commitment. So that's, again, nurturing around home and family and how you express around others, and like what you look for in a partner is very connected to mom, how mom's energy expresses through nurturing. That energy can be brought into your career too, because you have a water sign, Saturn. Okay?
Okay.
So tell me what you do and what you're interested in. And sales are really good for you too, I would say.
Well, actually,
yeah.
I'm in sales. I'm in healthcare sales right now for a corporation. Awesome. And being a little micromanaged, which is not good for me. So I'm kind of looking.
No.
I also have a side business where I sell crystal jewelry.
Oh, beautiful.
So that's kind of, my kind of love hobby.
Okay.
And then my husband is also self-employed, so that kind of makes sense for what you were saying. We were thinking eventually me joining his company. So
yeah,
there's
definitely some energy around a family member taking their drive. Your drive is connected to family, so it stimulates you to be around your family, and you're more ambitious when you interact with them. The interesting thing I see is Jupiter in Aquarius is in your house of money. So there is multiple sources, which is Aquarian energy. It can be long distance. This could also be the energy of import-export. Whenever I see Sagittarius or Jupiter energy in the house of money, I always think import-export, because that gets you connected to people of other cultures who are far away. And so if you are not, and then I guess I should finish the thought, Aquarius is the internet. So long distance internet tells me that some of your clients could be far away on the internet. So something like an Etsy shop. Do you have Etsy?
I do, yes.
Okay. So Jupiter there is saying, wow, and honestly, Venus is about to go into your house. It's literally 6 minutes away from entering your house of money, which will probably be today. Okay, so Venus rules the second house, and what I said earlier about mutual reception between Aquarius and Venus, and Uranus being in Taurus and Venus being in Aquarius, that's all going to trigger your house of money. That's all about entrepreneurship, and it's about long distance energy, people of other cultures, people far away. Aquarius energy is the internet. Venus is retail. So with that particular transit for you, I'm thinking that your fortune, to an extent, with Jupiter on your natal Uranus as a reiteration of that, is about doing something on the internet with aesthetics, because second house and Venus is aesthetics, which is jewelry. And then fortune and money can come from that, selling it online. So I think that's about to be lit up. And next year, Saturn goes into your second house. So while you say it's your passion application, I think it has the power to become your vocation. Yeah, and Saturn and Scorpio rules joint finances in a marital relationship, and that's in your house, again, it's the Aquarius house. So your Saturn in the Aquarius house also lends itself to entrepreneurship. So there's many different layers to your chart, but 3 planets in the sign of sales, Jupiter in the house of money in Aquarius, Venus coming on it, is all saying make something that is online or entrepreneurial a bigger part of your life. And then the last thing I want to say, what was last? Oh yeah, you say you work with crystals?
Yeah.
Okay, do you do Reiki?
I have done Reiki 1, yes.
Okay, you can infuse those crystals with some Reiki energy, which is the Aquarius connection to your house of money, and that will give them that added boost and influence when you sell them. And it's Aquarius loves air, and Reiki and air. I associate anyone with strong air in their chart or a specific kind of air. I say do Reiki, because you do Reiki through the air. You don't have to be in the same room. You can do distance Reiki, and you might even want to take a couple more classes and get fully certified with that, because I think that will really enhance what you do with the jewelry. Okay?
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you have Uranus going through your house in the sky right now. It's in your house of home and family. And the Taurus energy, it goes into Taurus also. That's where the receptivity, the mutual receptivity, is in the home and family. So kind of your chart's showing that your passion is really more in doing what you love to do with the jewelry. That's what I would get out of your chart, okay?
It definitely is, yep.
Awesome.
Yep,
well,
on point.
Take a chance. Take a chance on yourself. Okay?
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling.
Thank you so much.
It was good to talk to you. Hey, my pleasure. I hope you call back again. Take care.
I will. Thanks so much, Shelley.
Okay. You're welcome. Bye. Okay, let's take our final caller, 216. Hi, 216. How are you?
Good. Thank you. My name is Patricia, calling from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay. Have you called the show before?
No, first-time caller.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Okay, so you said Patricia or Trisha?
Patricia, Patricia.
Okay. Great. Okay. So, what's your birthday date, place, and time?
7/16/58. Time I'm not too sure of. I might have been early morning, maybe 5 a.m.
Okay, let's do a sunrise chart for you. It'll help. It'll be pretty close to what you're saying. And place, you said?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, Cleveland. I thought you said Ohio. My other caller was from Ohio as well, I believe. Second one today. Okay, so what can I do for you?
I just need to find out concerning with, I've got several big plans. My healing, full recovery from stage 0 to 1 cancer, and I'm choosing alternative methods.
Okay.
And only a move to the Pacific Northwest as well. And I'm
sorry, you said you did move or you want to move?
I'm saying I'm going to move. It's my intention to move this spring or summer of this year. I'm in the midst of learning to play the guitar so that I've been wanting to play the guitar, but to help me to write songs.
Awesome.
What else? Interested in voiceover, speaking, teaching. And I'm learning copywriting and grant writing.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. You're a very busy woman.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the main question, I guess, then, that you want to know? Pardon me?
I just said, oh, sheesh. The healing, full recovery, and money.
Okay. Well, there's a very big energy in your house of health and medicine. Well, you have a number of big energies going through that house. So Jupiter is now right on your natal Saturn, which is planet restriction. And it's career, too, but it's in your house of health. So there's definitely a connection, again, to exercise. So Jupiter rules legs, and it wants us to get out in nature, and it wants us to exercise. So your Saturn and Jupiter is kind of getting triggered by Saturn in Sagittarius, Jupiter is wanting you to get out and about and exercise. That's like for your own well-being, okay? Saturn and Pluto are joining up in the late part of that same house, your health house, and they will actually join up exactly at the same degree next year at the very last degree of that house. So I would say as far as healing, you've got probably, let's see, it's March, about 10 months to really be done with this story. So January of next year with Saturn, Pluto at the end of your health house is really a culmination and a finality of dealing with it. So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's over yet as far as having, the interactions you've been having. So next year, very much so. It's like that will be the transformation you need to get over it, okay?
All right.
And then, let's see, you said career also, right?
Well, money, finances, business.
Money, finance. Okay. So Uranus moves into the house of money, or to the sign of money, Taurus, in your house of career this coming morning at 3:30, roughly 3:36, I think it was. So when Uranus transitions into Taurus, which, like I said earlier, it was an 8-year transit through Aries, it was very aggressive. It squared your house of health, and going into Taurus, it makes you much more clear about what needs to be done for your health and for your body, and it also gives you more opportunity for entrepreneurial efforts. Again, kind of like the last caller, it has to do with money and growth, and so there will be some tangible rewards associated if you work for yourself. You have Mars in Aries, and Mars in Aries is the salesperson. You have a really strong drive, and you have the South Node at 27 Aries, and Mars in Aries conjunct to the South Node means you came into this life, you were probably a man in a past life, and so I think you have a very strong understanding of male drive, and that's what Mars in Aries does. It's like, I get that drive to succeed, that ambition, and it's also the salesperson. So we are wrapping up a story around being more driven in your career and entrepreneurial, but then you're going to start getting the rewards when you're in a Taurus. It's definitely growing the money from it, and I think you've probably had a lot of frustration in the last few years around not seeing results from what you were attempting to do, but you will see results when Uranus goes into Taurus, okay? It's about material, it's about money. So if you keep your mind open, you can definitely gain more knowledge and understanding about what's being given to you. It's going to be an energy of channeled information, meaning it comes to you automatically. It may just drop into your head as an idea. And I want you to have faith in that. If you get an idea to do something, whether it's work or health, then follow it. Don't be shy to trust it, okay? You have Sun and Moon on the horizon at the birth.
So the rising sign is 6:11 a.m. and the moon was at 18 and the sun was at 23 Cancer. So they were conjunct in your chart, and they're very concerned about security, but you have the fortune. You have fortune in your chart to gain security, but I would say it's very much your efforts. Jupiter's on your Saturn right now. That is about transformation. There's a connection to health with that. So I don't know if your career is in health, but you've also got that Sagittarius connection, which again is travel and anything foreign or long distance or spiritual minded. So there's some strong spiritual energy coming into your chart right now around faith and understanding faith through transformation. Okay?
Mm-hmm. All right.
And the last thing I want to say is ask angels for help physically out loud. Like say, Raphael is the healing angel. Ask for help from Raphael or Michael. Any angels you resonate with angel energy. Okay?
Okay. Can you tell me regarding my health? Regarding my health, am I to be guided to do? I was choosing the alternative. I had the lumpectomy, but it was suggested that I do the radiation, which I'm not comfortable with that, and I don't believe it's healing at all.
Okay. I think that I'm not going to answer yes or no, but I will tell you when Uranus goes into Taurus, you will have more clarity about what you want to do. Okay? Let me just see if he gets into your 11th house at all, which is the house he rules. I don't think he gets that far this year. Yeah, I would say you will know in your heart what you want to do. But I would honestly, I know today's the very last day of Uranus and Mars, which is an aggressive radiation. That's what that is talking about. When Uranus goes into Taurus, it's more about like, how's it going to affect my body and will I want that and is this the right thing? And it's also an initiating energy because it's the first degree of a new sign and it is the body. Taurus rules the physicality of the body. And, so I think Uranus is the planet of understanding. I think there will be much more clarity if you give it even a week, if you have the ability to give it a week. Then, think on it and just feel the energy and see what resonates to your soul. Okay. Mercury retrograde can affect you a little bit in how you view things through your emotions. So I'm just letting you know that. I don't know what kind of timeline you have to make a decision, but honestly, I would wait until Mercury goes direct to give a decision for anything. That would be my rule of thumb, and that's the 29th of March. So if you can wait to the 29th of March with Mercury direct, and then Uranus will be well into Taurus, like it'll have 2 weeks to go into that energy, even 3 weeks, you'll be able to have a better decision for the process. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I've got to go because the show's over, and but I appreciate it. If you want to get a full reading, you can get me at angeliczodiac.com. I do wish you the best with your health issues.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You're welcome. You too. Bye-bye. And that is the end of the show this week. We did it. We got all the way through. So, definitely don't forget to ground your energy, and I will see you here next week at the regular time, barring any more Mercury issues. So thanks for your patience. Take care.
Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com.
This February, history will be made. Millions will watch as 80 years of unjust stigma is left in the past. A product that drove good people to the black market will be revealed as one that's creating a new global market. This February, what inspired the symbol of counterculture will at long last be seen as just culture. The new normal is coming. Will you be one of the first to see it? Visit medmen.com to watch an exclusive preview.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Old moon, yeah. That's Hugo, tickling the ivories. He just saved by bundling home and auto with Progressive. Gonna finally buy a ring for that gal of yours, Hugo? Send her my condolences. Hi-oh! This next one's for you two. There's a burglar in my heart. Thank you.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.